without even concerning any official.
I don't know how it happened. See, the file was taken back around second week of Home Secretary had gone to USA. After coming back from USA, whatever happened, the 9th, 10th of September, whatever happened, I don't know. Thereafter, the file was taken back from the division, and somewhere it happened, and thereafter, an order came that in the file that, if I recollect correctly, I don't recollect the language exactly. You can file an RTI and get it if you want to get a copy of the notings. But what I said is, the Honorable Minister, the then Honorable Minister, had said, I have something like recast or something in the affidavit, ask the Undersecretary to go and file it. Nothing more than that.
So, sir, coming back to the first affidavit, you said that you had concrete inputs and Ishrat was a terrorist.
Right.
What makes you so convinced with this?
Not only me, I have given full details of where all she went, where all she stayed, where she procured arms, along with Pillai and other, and along with the two Pakistani national. Pakistani national also having it, and the two of them had traveled to several places where they got them. If it's all in their first affidavit, I don't have to repeat what I have said. I'm on affirmation in the first affidavit also. And Mr. Chidambaram only I put the facts said. See, none of the facts have been denied. He has only said these facts are, they are all, whatever has come out, IB inputs are not conclusive. And all these facts are based on IB inputs. If they were not conclusive, he should have said, we have something else to the contrary. I don't know. That is what
But do you think that second affidavit is politically engineered?
I cannot say about it. It is better you ask the people who did it. I cannot say anything on it.
Headley's deposition, I'm coming back to that. He says that Ishrat was a terrorist. But how will India should believe in a terrorist himself who was a Pakistani national and was also reportedly a double agent? How can we believe him?
I will tell you one thing. See, there was one gentleman called Daniel Clegg. He was a legal attaché in US Embassy. He had also written. And not only that, it's a public document because someone had annexed it, the affidavit in which I filed in the Supreme Court N.K. Amin case. In the N.K. Amin case, it was a part of the annexure also. It was a part of the annexure in the N.K. Amin case in the Supreme Court original SL petition, criminal writ petition 128 of 2013, in which as a respondent number 6, I made an affidavit. So I very well remember that somebody from the US Embassy had said that this is true and any further cooperation is required, we will go.
Did you get the information directly from US Embassy when you were in the department, Internal Security Department?
So I cannot comment on this. But I am telling you the source, you go and see. I cannot comment on whether the first one was right or wrong. I don't even recall. It is 7 years, 8 years back. I don't recall.
Sir, also, I'll now give a critical point of view to what you are saying. People will say, why you remain silent for so many years? Don't you think that it is now, politically it suits you to speak this? So you are speaking?
I have no political agenda. On 21st June 2013, I was hauled up, harassed. See, 22nd was a Sunday, 23rd I drafted the note, 24th I signed it and sent it to my superiors. This is all June 2013. It's all matters of record. I don't know how it reached the public domain. Now, all the same, it has reached the public domain. I don't know. I have not put it on. Okay. The immediate reaction was, so many fellows chased me. I have already come out with that. So I don't have to repeat what I have done.
Sir, you also mentioned about SIT chief harassing you mentally and even physically.
Yes.
In fact, I read somewhere about the mention of he using cigarette stubs
To burn,
Can you just elaborate on that? Because this is a very serious allegation.
See, I have already briefed my lawyer on this. Actually, every time I have to repeat, it's a traumatic. It is not as simple as that. It's very traumatic for me.
No, but at least public should
reliving the episode. Yes, cigarette butts were put on my thighs and all that, this place. And so many things happened. I can't recollect, but abusive. See, the interrogation started around 9 o'clock. The IG, that is Mr. Satish Verma, joined around 10:15, 10:30. It went on up to 2:30 or so in a very polite manner. Then he started becoming restive. He started narrating all nonsense. Then I said, nothing doing. I don't believe it. You seems to be speaking the ISA, you're towing the ISA line, which is recorded in the report I submitted to the government. I told him that it is your perception, and from our side it is ISA perception. Something like that I told in the report. I don't recollect what I told. Thereafter, it went on, and he became physical after 4. It was huge. In the meantime, from 3 o'clock itself, he started beating somebody in the next room, or either it was a record played, I don't know, but certainly yes. Thereafter, he became physical after 4. There was twice he scuffled. He put a cigarette on my thigh. Yes, it's all true. I can vividly recollect. I want to forget it and get on, move on, but somehow it's not happening.
But did you file any complaint?
I'd already informed my seniors that this is all what has happened. Thereafter, in the Supreme Court, in a Supreme Court notice was received by me, on which I have already captured all these things in a very holistic manner, how Mr. SIT Chief behaved with me. I have already put it in the affidavit in the Supreme Court.
Mr. Mani, do you think he was working on somebody's direction? And what was he telling you? What he want from you by putting this force? Please elaborate on that. This is a very important aspect of this.
You see, whether he was working on somebody's direction, it is for him to answer, I cannot answer. But he kept on telling that you say that Rajendra Kumar brought an affidavit and you signed it. I said that is not the truth. He says Rajendra Kumar brought the affidavit and you signed. He kept on harping on that. I said, I don't tell the truth. I am a competent fellow. My seniors are competent enough to draft affidavit. That is what is our job. I don't require a IB officer to walk into my chamber and say, you sign this affidavit and do. This is what I have been telling. I have been telling since 2009. That I don't require any IB officer. I have already told you that I am a master in law. I have a LLM degree. And in spite of that, if Mr. Satish Verma believes that I cannot draft an affidavit, that is his prerogative. But certainly, I know my capabilities. My seniors know my capabilities, who have said that, yes, they used to depend on me, and I used to, whenever there was a problem, I used to take their guidance.
So you ultimately did not sign?
Beg your pardon?
You ultimately did not give in to his...
I did not give in to his pressures. Thereafter, all sorts of things started happening. At 5 o'clock, I said, look, this is not right, and my wife will go to Chief Justice's house. We have contacts there, and I threw a little bit of, see, Delhi, names dropping happens, so I threw a little bit of names dropping. And thereafter, it was, my lawyer was actually in Himachal at that time, but I also, actually my mobile phone was snatched. They kept it in a separate place. Later on, I threatened him that my wife and my lawyer will go to CJI, wake him up and move a habeas corpus petition. You will be in trouble. Let's make no mistake. Otherwise, he threatened to take me to custody. I said, what is my bloody mistake? See, I am also well connected. You may be an abrasive police officer. You may have people backing you, but I am also not orphaned. Okay. Now that stands vindicated.
But sir, did you report this to Home Secretary? Then Home Secretary
actually, there is a procedure. Not then Mr. Pillai was not the Home Secretary. By that time, the tenure had changed. Mr. R.K. Singh had come. The procedure is whatever happens to me, whatever communication is called through proper channel, I have to report to the office where I am working, and they will forward it to the concerned ministry. In this case, at that time, I was posted in the Ministry of Urban Development. I recorded all these things. I put it up to my seniors, and I believe they have forwarded to. Because I don't chase up on that. I've got no stakes in that. I said they forwarded it. I believe that they must have forwarded it to the Ministry of Home Affairs.
But did you get any feedback?
No, that is not the system. The government takes its own action. Suppose only if a feedback is required from me, they will ask me. Otherwise, they don't. I believe that the government has should have protected my interest.
So, sir, my last question in English. Sir, was there an attempt made to tarnish at then Prime Minister candidate Mr. Modi and now then Mr. Amit Shah? Was there an attempt?
See, these are all the political games. But all the same, see, during the course of conversation, polite level conversation with Mr. Satish Verma in the forenoon of this session, I remember his having mentioned it. I did not take it very seriously. I said, this is he's not a good fellow. He's talking all sorts of nonsense. Because you see the basic purpose for which these four people had come to Ahmedabad. That is most important. They had come to assassinate Mr. Modi and the Home Minister Amit Shah. It is not that they have come on a picnic to Ahmedabad. They were not holidaying and they had travelled.
So do you think national security was compromised in the second affidavit?
See, I will not comment, but you see, you have been interacting with so many people. Don't you feel, I'm asking this question back to all of the country or media, by saying that IB intelligence inputs are not conclusive, have we not undermined the credibility of IB? Now, which state government or which police officer will act on IB input? That is the basic question we want to. You ask all the people, anybody, who will answer? Who will? See, it's a brilliant organization. I have yesterday also told that it is one of the best intelligence organizations in the world. Many countries do not have it. That is the level of this commitment of the IB professionals. Brilliant fellows. And thereafter, to say that their inputs are not conclusive, God save this country. And number two, you have simply, by one simple affidavit, you have undermined the credibility of an institution. That is very sad. I am still in the government. I know the amount of credibility, the amount of commitment of intelligence officers. Not only IB, I will say R&AW also is equally, there should not be any, R&AW also is equally committed. They generate wonderful inputs. I have been a user, I have been a client of these inputs. I have taken policy, I have initiated policy notes on based on these inputs. Huh? You mean to say all those policies are wrong?
But Congress now says that they were never, judgmental on the guilty or non-guilt of issues. They did not for or anti, but they just did it because there was no conclusive evidence.
Do you know what is a conclusive evidence of intelligent input means? Supposing if an input is generated that there will be an attack in my apartment. The conclusive evidence will come only after an attack takes place. Did anybody, whomsoever is claiming like this, do they want that the attack should have taken place?
But sir, they are also arguing that even if they were terrorists, the encounters are not allowed in our country.
Perfectly okay. I don't use the word encounter because I have a lot of. Has anybody seen the file? I have seen the file. I use the word crossfire. It is not an encounter. That's number one. If the crossfire or encounter, we may beg to differ on this, was the only inquiry into crossfire or this thing was the only mandate of SIT. Why was I called for the investigation? I was not posted in 2004 in MHA. I came in 2005 or so. Number two is I had done only about the antecedents of Ishrat Jahan. Number three, you read my first affidavit, I said an additional Director General level police officer has already, this is there in my affidavit, I am not quoting from anywhere. Law and public order of state subjects, that was quoted. I am not factually wrong on that. An additional DGP level officer had investigated in the, that is also not, I am not wrong on that. If you don't trust an additional DGP level officer of a state government who is equivalent to a special secretary in the government of India or maybe additional secretary in the government of India, whom do we trust? Whom do we trust? That's it.
थैंक यू सो मच सर फॉर टॉकिंग टू अस। अब हम एक हिंदी में सर, आपने अभी हमारे इंटरव्यू में हमें बताया कि दो एफिडेविट दिए गए, पहला भी चिदम्बरम साहब ने अप्रूव किया था और दूसरा भी सीनियर लेवल पे या पॉलिटिकल लेवल पे ड्राफ्ट हुआ। आप बताइए हमें कि क्या है इस सच्चाई इस पूरी बात की।
इस संदर्भ में मैं अपना स्पष्टीकरण कर चुका हूं कि पहला जो दस्तावेज वहां पंजीकृत हुई थी, फाइल हुआ था एफिडेविट जो गुजरात हाई कोर्ट में, वो मेरे तरफ से इसका मसौदा बनाया गया। इस मसौदा के अंदर जितने भी वैल्यू एडिशन हुआ, जितने भी शुद्धिकरण हुई, वो मेरे वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों ने किया। खासकर मैं इसके गाइडेंस भी उसके लिए कुछ वरिष्ठ अधिकारियों ने कहा। फिर चिदम्बरम साहब ने इसका अनुमोदन किया। उसके बाद उन्होंने कहा इसको लॉ सेक्रेटरी को भी दिखाया जाए। सचिव लॉ ने भी इसको अनुमोदन किया। उसके बाद नीचे आई, फिर मैं जाके इसका फाइलिंग किया था सुप्रीम कोर्ट हाई कोर्ट ऑफ गुजरात में। इसके पश्चात सब सुख शांति थी। बस चिदम्बरम साहब एक दिन आए, फाइल वाइल बड़े हड़बड़ी मची, एक दिन फाइल लेके उन्हीं के चले। अब किस लेवल पे ये दूसरा एफिडेविट का मसौदा बना, इसका मैं ज्ञात नहीं हूं। ये मैं जरूर कह सकता हूं कि मेरे लेवल से और मेरे से 2 लेवल ऊपर वरिष्ठ अधिकारी जो हैं, उन लेवल पे इसका मसौदा तैयार नहीं किया गया।
होम सेक्रेटरी जो थे उसमें उन्होंने नहीं किया इसका।
मेरे वगैरह 2 लेवल थे, उसके बाद होम सेक्रेटरी आते थे। जब होम सेक्रेटरी ने भी मना कर दिया तो उससे ऊपर, होम सेक्रेटरी से वरिष्ठ कोई अधिकारी नहीं है गृह मंत्रालय में। गृह सचिव सबसे ऊपर के अधिकारी हैं, सबसे वरिष्ठ अधिकारी, उनसे ऊपर तो ऑफिसर है ही नहीं है।
चिदम्बरम साहब का कहना है कि क्योंकि पहले में कंक्लूसिव एविडेंस उस तरह का नहीं था, कंक्लूजन नहीं था, इसलिए दूसरा एफिडेविट साइन किया गया। और उन्होंने बोला कि ये अनफॉर्चुनेट है कि पिल्लई साहब उससे अपने आप को डिस्टेंस कर रहे हैं।
देखिए, ये सब तो फाइल में पता लग जाएगा कि किस लेवल पे दूसरा एफिडेविट फाइल हुआ था, साइन ड्राफ्ट हुआ था, ये फाइल में पता लग जाएगा। उस वक्त के तत्कालीन आप फाइल देके, मिसिल देके, उसमें सब कुछ स्पष्ट लिखा गया है। ऐसा है, कम से कम यहाँ मेरी कोशिश थी और मेरे वरिष्ठ अधिकारी थे, 2 बहुत ही सक्षम लोग थे। हम लोगों की यही कोशिश होती थी कि हर चीज स्पष्ट तरीके से कागजों में डाला जाए, बिकॉज सरकार के आगे आने वाले के लिए वो बड़ा सहूलियत देती है।
सर, आपने डिसेंट नोट क्यों नहीं दिया?
डिसेंट नोट तो मैंने बता,
आप चुप क्यों रहे इतने साल? आप इतना
मैं चुप, देखो ऐसा है, देखिए जैसे मैंने बताया कि जैसे सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जजमेंट डिलीवर होने से पहले डिसेंटिंग होता है। एक बार जजमेंट होने के बाद कोई डिसेंट नोट का फायदा। इसी प्रकार सरकार में भी जो भी डिसेंट करना होता है वो एक प्रोसेस होती है, उस वक्त जितना डिसेंट करना है कर दीजिएगा।